Um, Again, my name is Verdita Monk. I'm out of Atlanta, Senior Presidential Director at LifeWave. And so tonight we're going to be talking about money matters. And I have the privilege of sharing this call with another one of our leaders, just hit Senior Director out of the Charlotte area. Let me tell you about this gentleman. He is a bishop over 12 churches. He's extremely busy. Matter of fact, when he came to Atlanta this weekend, he was guest speaker at some conference. And so he's extremely busy, but never too busy to reach out and help his team members. He is very focused on that. He never makes excuses, but he is so resourceful and just a great researcher, believe it or not, even with all that he has to do with his congregation, he is very resourceful and just very knowledgeable. And I really enjoy listening to what he has to say. So we're going to start tonight out just by introducing to you Bishop Larry Jackson out of Charlotte. And he is going to come on and share some things that you need to know about money. Bishop Jackson, you got the floor.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Vidita. Thank you so very much for that. And again, yes, this weekend was a great weekend. I couldn't make Friday night. My wife did, and she told me how good everything went Friday night as well, man. But I was there Saturday and was very professional. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the pictures and all of that come from it. But it was a good time. So Vadita and I was talking about something I shared on Saturday. I just did a snippet of something because we've got people that need what we have in more than one way. And we have the situation in some cases where you're confronted with folk who really will say to you they don't necessarily have the resources to engage in this type of opportunity, even though they need it. And so we have a product that deals with people's pains and people's sicknesses and people's issues in their body. And that is very easy for people to talk about. Matter of fact, somebody will tell you, my back is hurting, my shoulder and my arm is hurting. They will tell you about the pains that are going on in their bodies. A lot of times, the thing they will not tell you is about that financial sickness. When you are having financial issues, a lot of times people will think that reflects on their character. And so therefore they will not share the fact that they are struggling financially. Now, we need to think about this fact from not only from the product side, and Ken tells us this all the time, we've got to think about it from the business side. And okay. And one of the things I will say to people, and I definitely say on my Zooms, it would appear, and it's not, but it would appear that these two sides, the body and the business side, are in competition with one another. We got such a great product for the body, and the company is making sure that the business side is just as great as that product side. And I know some of us have been in opportunities where we had a tremendous product, but that business side was, you were like, wow, okay, if they got to get this together over here, things were not running smooth. Comp plans were not like they said they were, flowing like we wanted it to, or they have a phenomenal comp plan, but it's difficult to sell that product because that product is a Me Too product, and it can be expensive and all of those kinds of things. And so as a result of that, it can be difficult to have that balance. LifeWave have the balance. So we've got to be very conscious of that we're not only able to help people in their bodies, we can help people in their financial business life, or in their financial life, where we can offer them an opportunity to have a business. And I think it was really well brought out on Saturday how all of that has been taken care of for us. But one of the things I was talking about while I was on the stage, I was talking about the fact that there are so many people right now that they are facing financial issues, that they are hitting up against this inflation. We got answers to that. We need to think about it from that perspective. I've got answers to, so when somebody says my back is hurting, when somebody says, I've got a knee problem, or Oh, I've been dealing with this. Well, that's not a problem for us. We go, I got a patch for that. I can patch you and that'll help you. Now, we've got to also think about it when somebody says, man, I'm struggling financially, or I have this inflation is serious out here. Well, it says, I've got an answer for that. Healthcare costs. We got an answer for that because we can help you bring down some of those costs. I interviewed someone yesterday that has just come off 3 medications, and which was hundreds of dollars. So now they've got money put back into their coffers that they had to put out every month. So they don't have to do that anymore because they've been wearing the patches. Okay, so we got answers to that. People living expenses and groceries and and rental property. I don't know about where you live, but in Charlotte, the rental property and the cost of rental property is so far up. So somebody that's trying to get a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, they are struggling. And so we've got to think from that perspective that we can help people. And so one of the things I was talking about on stage was the fact that 70% of Americans report now, this is you can get some of get this information out of Forbes. Okay, so I'm not just throwing you some statistics off the top of my head. This is Forbes. You can check Forbes. You can check Market Watch. I'm in one of those people that dabble into the markets and trade in the markets. So I need to know what's going on in the markets. CNBC and Survey Monkey. All of them talk about the fact that Forbes says 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Matter of fact, the statistics are actually this: 65% to 78%. I want you to hear that again. 65% to 78% in the Forbes report reported living paycheck to paycheck. And what we know is this: some of them not making it to the next paycheck. They're having problems in between. And if anything catastrophic comes up, then they got real problems because, wow, where am I going to get that money from? Because and so Market Watch says 66.2%. CNBC and Survey Monkey says 65% living paycheck to paycheck. So this is pretty amazing. Now, living paycheck to paycheck and people that's feeling that way from a demographic type of situation is like the millennials say they 73.8%. 73.8% of millennials say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Baby boomers, 49%, almost half. Okay. Now, so when you break it down to demographic with women versus men, 72.1% of women say they're living paycheck to paycheck. And then 59.9% of men are saying they live in paycheck to paycheck. Okay, so there is a serious crunch out here. The other thing that I talked about was the savings. It has been reported, and again, you can check this out at Bank Rates annual emergency savings. Okay, Bank Rates annual emergency savings for 2024. 64% have less than $500 saved in their bank account in America. 64% of people do not have $500 saved for emergency. 64%? That's a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of people. They don't have savings. So that means if something again came up, they can't make it. Or they got to go out and borrow it from somebody. So you can go to bankrate.com. Okay. I'm trying to give you these resources because you need to be able to combat some of this and know that it's happening and know that these people need it. They literally need what we have. There are entire sectors. I was just telling my wife there are people that have jumped into the real estate market, and in the real estate market last year, over 45% of realtors didn't make one sale, not one. 45% of them who have real estate licenses did not make one sale. And in like 70% of them only made two. Now you go all year and all you did was you better had a high a high income property. It had to be one of those $1 million listings, but if you only did two, you know that it's not carrying you. So you're working some other job or that. And so real estate, so when you're talking to real estate agents, you don't get fooled by them to make it think like they're just knocking the doors down. They're not. A lot of them are not making any money. And so we've got a solution to that. See, so I was on a call yesterday where I talked to insurance agents. I talked to insurance agents, and when I got on the call, they were celebrating the people who had made it to six figures. Okay, and people and talking about how they're making 9,000 a month and 12,000 a month, and I'm waiting for my turn to talk. And when we go through all the stuff, and I said to them, "Hey guys, I've showed you this product. we've run out of time. I don't know if you want to see the business side." They said, "Yeah, we want to see the business side." And so when I showed them the numbers that we can attain to, it like got serious attention on the Zoom call because they hadn't seen those kinds of numbers. Okay, and so I'm telling you, we have something, and that's the way you got to approach this. You must approach this as a business owner with a way to not only help people in their physical bodies, but you have a way to help people in their financial lives. You can break them free from living paycheck to paycheck. Do you understand? You become a hero. You become a hero to somebody that is struggling financially and trying to figure out how they're going to do what they got to do, month in and month out, and they don't know how. There are people literally praying, "God help me to get more finances." They don't know how it's going to come, but they need you. You are the answer. And that's why I told everybody on Saturday, you are for such a time as this. For such a time as this era, this environment, this economic environment that we're in, it's not a good economic environment. I could take you through the Fed just cut rate. Fed just cut rates 50 basis points. Those are the kind of things I keep up with, again, because I'm in the markets. Okay. But and they're saying that they're going to cut the rates another 50 basis points in December. Okay. So the Fed know, for one thing, they're behind the curve. They're behind the curve, and it's a lot of people that's struggling, and they know that, and so they're trying to catch up. They're trying to catch up. The Federal Reserve is trying to catch up, and but by the time they get to December, again, by the time they get to December, that first rate cut has not showed up yet. It won't show up until probably December or January. Then they're gonna cut again, and that one won't show up until. So I'm telling you, so there's a lag time. So, but we don't have any lag time. See, that's what I want you to understand. Please understand, you have a vehicle, and that's what excites me. That I know I can not only, I don't only have a plan for people's physical bodies, I have a plan for their financial lives that will take the pressure off. And when the pressure comes off, now they can function. Let me say one last thing to you. As you're talking to people, and you may have brand partners that have come into the business with you, and you must tell them this. They must look at their life to see what they need to take out of their lives so that this business will function in their lives. Let me say that to you again. They must see what they need to take out of their lives so that this business may function in their life. What do you mean by that? There are some monies they're spending that they need to say, okay, I can't be spending that money anymore. I got to stop spending that money. I can't be doing Netflix and Prime and Prime Video, and I can't be doing all all the things. I can't be going out to the restaurants every day. I can't be buying those shoes yet. I can't. They got to cut some things out. Everybody have to cut things out if you're going to advance in vision. When you advance in vision, you must remove something so that you can advance in vision. Okay. And you have to change some things about your life. If your life is worth it to you, if it's worth changing your life, put some things on hold for a season, because we're going to help you get back to those things. But for a season, you cut them off so that you can now get to the next level in your life. Okay. You got to change some things. And I'm closing with this. Now, I told you I dabble here in the markets and all those kind of things. So in January, when I decided, and my wife and I decided that we would join LifeWave, I completely stopped trading. Completely. I turned my computer off. Completely stopped trading. Why? I know me for one. I knew that I could not put my focus there and here at the same time. And I said to my wife, I'm going to take 6 months. I'm going to take 6 months, and in 6 months, we will be in the senior director range, and then I'll be able to go back to trading. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trading again. It took me more than 6 months, but we're trading again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I cut stuff out. I cut stuff out. I had to cut stuff out so that I could make sure I get to where I wanted to be. And that's what some of you may have to do, but also you've got to train and talk to the people you bring into the business so that they're not trying to bring LifeWave in a bag on their shoulder along with everything else they're doing. And now they're not doing anything. Okay, so you got to cut some things out. You got to prioritize your time and your life and all that. And if you can do that, then we can get to the next level. Vidita, you can come back on. I hope I did what you needed.
You did an incredible job, and you definitely clarified, what I was trying to get across, what I wanted to get across to with this subject. So, and you can, and I'll probably be calling back on you in a little bit. So feel free to take notes and figure out what else you want to add to whatever I'm going to say. But listen, I'm going to share a slide, you guys. Let me see. I'm going to share a slide. Okay. I think this is the right slide. So move this up. Okay, let me move this out of my way. Smooth that asleep. Okay, so the bishop talked about certain things, and I'm just going to preface this thing because we're talking about money, but certain things he said. He talked about committing himself to this business. That's the last thing on here. Talking about the four C's to building a successful business. He committed. He didn't. He focused, and he stayed plugged into the cause. I'm skipping around, but he stayed plugged into the cause. He passed it on because I know he has a chat group. He was very, very consistent doing calls for his team. He started doing his own calls very early on, but being communicating is not a problem for him. So he's used to that. He's done it, that's just a natural for him. But here's the key word I want you to hear: duplicating. He would not have gotten to the senior director level unless he were duplicating. But this is what I want you to understand. I want to, entrepreneurship, we're talking about money. Entrepreneurship is the new retirement program, you guys. It is the new retirement program. So let me share something that can help you with the numbers. Let's just assume that all you did was said, okay, I just want to get binary qualified. I'm gonna make this real simple. Let's say in your first month, we help you go out and get 2 partners just so that you can be binary qualified. Now, and I'm not saying for you to stop at 2, but that's what this chart reflects. So now the next month, we're not saying for you to go get 2 more. We're saying take the 2 that you enrolled and help them get 2. That's the duplication part. Now you got 4 new people on your second level. So now you have a total of 6 partners. So watch this. I'm not going to read every line, but I want you to get how this works. Those 4 people, the following month, because it might take them a whole month to get 2. So now there's 8 new partners that follow your third level. That's 14 new. Now you got 14 partners. Add all those together, you got 14 partners. The 4th month, those 8 go get 2. That's 16. Now you got 30 partners. So you see that this continues. If everybody just get binary qualified their first month, you've got over 8,190 partners in a year. Over 8,000. And half of them are on one side of the binary and half on another. But watch this. If you have 8,190 partners in a year, that's 1,000,000 points per month if everybody ordered 2 sleeves of X39. That's all we talk about is getting 2 sleeves of X39. On each side of the binary, you divide that by 2. You can take your calculator out if you don't believe me. Divide this by 2, you get 630,000 points on each side of the binary. Now, I'm just going to be conservative and say that you've got to have 660 points to run a cycle. 630 on one, 660 on one side, 330 on the other. If you divide this 630,000 points by 630, you're going to end up with 955 cycles for just that month alone. That's $47,000 in income. Or if you divide that by 4, that's $11,000 per week in the binary. You guys, that's incredible. Now, we all know that you cannot receive $11,000 a week unless what? Let me go down here. You have to be a presidential director. Can somebody tell me, because I talk about this on the Power of Six all the time, you can feel free to unmute yourself if you know the answer or you want to try to know the answer. How can you get to presidential director? What is going to help you get to presidential director? Because you got the volume. You only have to have 10,000 in volume to be a senior director. So what is it going to take you to get to presidential director? Anybody? Y'all, I can't believe y'all don't know the answer to that.
No, Verdita, you have to have, first of all, you have to have 6 people. You're going to have your 6 people. You're going to have to at least be senior director first. Then that requires 6 people and 2 directors. But you're going to have 100,000 points.
Well, you already have that because I just shared with you, you got 630. So you're absolutely right, Juanita. All you have to do is get to senior director. All you have to do, see here, all you have to do is get to senior director. See, that's what's so beautiful about this. Senior director, what does that mean? Just like Juanita said, you got to have 6 people, 3 on your left, 3 on your right. They must all be silvers. And 2 of them, the 2 don't have to be, the 2 directors do not have to be on the opposite sides of the binary. They could be on the same side, doesn't matter. If you can get to senior director, you can take advantage of all this volume. I'm scratching this screen some kind of way. This volume is here. The volume is there. It's just but we have people, I've shown examples many times on this call where people got, thousands of points sitting there, but why can't they collect the point? Because they aren't even binary qualified or something, or they don't have 2 sleeves, because you got to have 110 points. This is why I just try to make it so simple. It's so simple. Get you 2 sleeves of some sort. Make sure it's at least 110 points, but get you 2 sleeves. Go ahead and get you 6 people. Help them get 6. That's automatically going to make you director. So it's just simple. So if you could get to senior director, but I guarantee you, if you looked up in your back office and you were binary qualified and you saw this kind of volume sitting under you and you knew that you could start earning this kind of money, I guarantee you'd figure out how to get to senior director. Because that's the only thing holding you up from getting almost $12,000 a week. I believe everybody could go and get 2 just to get it going. So now, what else? Move to this page. So entrepreneurship is the new retirement plan. The bishop just talked about the money, people needing money, and needing extra money. Let me see what else I got on this. Okay, so now go back to this. Let me stop share this. I want to share something else with you. This is just a can you all see my share screen? Juanita, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just see you.
Oh gosh, let me go back to let me see. I don't know. Sometimes I don't do that right. Okay. So look at this right here. It shows you, move this out of my way. It shows you that entrepreneurship is the new retirement. Look at this. Now, let's suppose you're not in LifeWave, you don't have any kind of business. Every single thing that's on this, well, mostly everything that's on this list, you're spending this money anyway. Let's just assume that you came in with a diamond pack. So this is if you was in LifeWave. Then if you were getting 2 sleeves a month, that's how much you'd be spending. And many of us still have to drop patches in the mail if we're talking to somebody, long distance. But basically, like even tomorrow, I have to have my computer technician over here. So most people, some kind of way, are going to spend some of this money. You're automatically spending your money on cell phones, internet service, your utilities. You may or may not You know, you may be flying on an airline ticket regardless if you was in LifeWay. You know, you may be staying in hotels. Events are expenses that we incur, but basically you see what's happening here. If you were to you go out to eat and you're talking to somebody, you can write, and I'm not sure about this part. I don't know. Somebody told me it's 100%. And then I heard, I need to get that straight. It may be 50% of your meals that you could write off if you're talking business while you're eating. But look at this. If 25% of your space, like I have a pretty nice sized dining room, I have a pretty nice sized kitchen. Normally, I'm gonna do a Zoom in one of those two rooms. So that's a good 25%. And I'm not saying my mortgage is $2,500. I'm just saying that if your mortgage was $2,500, you can write off 25% of that. If your square footage that you use for business, I use my square footage, I use my rooms to do Zooms in. If 25%, all this I get to write off. Homeowners association fees. Since I'm using 25% of my home, I can write off 25% of my home owners association fees. Do you know that you can write off 65.5 cents per mile? Let's say if you drove 20,000 miles. I mean, just driving around Atlanta, you can easily drive 20,000 miles and you get to write off this. So 25% of 20,000 miles is 6,000 miles times 65 cents. That's almost $4,000 per year that you could write off. But look at the tax write-offs that you can get if you're in this business. If you're not in this business, yeah, you won't have the enrollment fee, you won't have the monthly subscription, you may not have the postage, but you know what I'm saying? You can't write any of this off at all if you don't have a home-based business, okay? So let me just see what else, because I mean, y'all, I'm telling you. So do you see what I'm saying now? Let's get back to what we were talking about. You got to get binary qualified, you guys. We have got to make the whole key to this whole thing is duplication. If you're not duplicating, none of this can happen. You got to get binary qualified, and you need to put that into the head of your people. There are many people. I had a couple that I met, Bishop, literally on the way to your event in Charlotte when we was there in June. And we were staying at the Spring Hill Suites, and I was getting breakfast, and I just asked this man, how are you today? And he says, just great. And he says, and how are you? And so I said, what brings you to Charlotte? And he says, I'm here for a family reunion. What brings you here? So I always try, like Gina Merritt, I always try to find a way, not to sound like I'm selling, but a way to start a conversation. I told him I was here to do a training on stem cell technology. I went right on into it. Have you ever heard of that? Are you familiar with that? So of course that went into a conversation, ended up giving him and his wife some samples, inviting them that Tuesday night to a call. During the call, Ken Robinson presented, you know, he wanted a fee. Says, if you're not interested in earning the money, just get back with a person and invite you to this call and let them know how you want to get your patches. They text me, we want to do the patches, but we're not interested in doing the business. This is a retired couple. Fine, I signed them up as a silver right then and there that night. So then I honored what they said, but what happened was the wife had something going on where she could barely walk, some kind of pain in her groin area. She could barely walk. And within 2 days, as I had given him some samples, within 2 days, that pain had gone away and she was impressed. So this lady that she helps, you know, several times a week, this like 83-year-old woman, she goes over and helps this lady out. This lady had about, she had given this lady 7 of those patches, and all kinds of things happened to this lady. The lady turned around, said she wants to buy a package. She bought a diamond pack, you guys. She bought a diamond pack. And guess what? They made 200, I made 300. But the point I'm making, next thing you know, he signs up his son's father-in-law. You see where I'm going with this? Just because they say they don't want to share, if they got any bone of care in their body, if they have any sense of caring about people, some kind of way they're going to tell or help. They're not going to sit there and watch their friends and relatives stay in pain. So hopefully you, just by this example, I had lunch at a training today. 2 people, one lady flat out said, she was already wearing an X39. She don't know nothing about no business opportunity. And she said, I want to do this. I know plenty of people that need this. 2 people want to sign up, just me sitting at a table at a luncheon, you guys. Let me see, Bishop is saying fully tax deductible. Yeah, fully tax deductible Here's some of the most common 50%. Okay. Company-wide holiday party food and drinks provided free of charge for the public, food included as taxes. Okay. Y'all can read that. Can you read that in the chat? Treating a few employees to a meal, but it's at least half of all employees. It's 100% deductible. So yeah, so just when you go, but y'all know y'all like to eat out, but now it could be a business expense. But yes, this is something else I want to say, that the Social Security, I read that Social Security was designed to meet 40% of your expenses. It wasn't supposed to design to cover 100% of your expenses. So you really, I mean, that's just not enough money. So what I want to do is I want to invite a couple of people on our team to illustrate what I'm saying about people that retire. People that retire, most of them still don't have enough money to live off of. So I want to first bring on my sister, Juanita Kraft. She is an executive director on our team. And Juanita is a retired aerospace engineer. That's something that is very few women you hear about having that type of career. She had a very successful career. And I want her to tell you what kind of things she did to prepare for her retirement and what her life was like and what's like now. Go ahead, Juanita.
Thank you, Verdita. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so yes, I've been retired now since 2016. And the very minute they allowed me to put money in the 401k, I started doing that. And so when I retired, I had some residual money. I mean, this is true residual income. I had a pension, which a lot of companies don't offer anymore. And of course, now my Social Security and, my 401k. But even with all of that, I'm trying to live off of maybe half of what my income was when I was working full time. And so, needless to say, it just wasn't enough, even though I did all of that. And think about it, I was making over six figures. So, my pension is a lot more than a lot of people. But once again, it just wasn't enough. So what, a lot of people, when they retire, they're like, can't wait till I retire. Now I can travel. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. No, you can't. You can't do anything, because all you're going to be able to do is survive, make it from paycheck to paycheck, if that. And and that's what I was going through until LifeWave, and running up charge cards. Soon as something happens, if you need a new refrigerator, put it on a charge card. The dishwasher breaks, you put it on the charge card. Now you got the charge cards are maxed out, and you're putting minimum payments on that, and it's just, then now you're thinking, well, what can I do now? I need to go back out and get another get another job or something. But LifeWave has just been a lifesaver for me. In addition, Verdita just talked about all the tax write-offs. She just wrote off what, $21,000. Well, if you're in a 30% tax bracket, that's about like $7,000, right? And so that's either going to be what you pay or what you get back. So I know you don't want to pay it, but I shudder to think about all the money that people give to the IRS simply by not having an in-home business. Say go out and get a part-time job and not even be able to write off the mileage, to and from, and time away from their families and so forth. So, this is just really the smartest thing you can do. If you're retired and you want to make your money, you want to stretch your money as far as it'll go, write off part of your home. And as I said, save on taxes. And another thing I was thinking about, say you were making what, 50,000 a year. Say you're making 50, whatever. And you start making, say even just as small as $250 a week with LifeWave. Okay, that's like, say 52,000 is what, 52 weeks? That's $1,000 a week. So if you start making $250, that's like a 25% raise. Now, where do you get that? I mean, I remember when I was getting my raises at work, they give you like a 3% raise a year. The step increases like 3%. Like if $250, if you're making $1,000 a week, 250 is a 25% raise. Where do you get that? And that's like small change with our company. You can easily make that in the first month. You
Yeah,
can
'cause
make,
you're making some big money, aren't you, Juanita?
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, I'm able to do stuff around my house and,
Mhm.
home repairs and things like that, that I wasn't able to do. I could only, dream about doing it, but I couldn't really do it with my retirement money. So, a lot of people think that retirement is like, well, I'm gonna have all this time and all this money, I'm gonna be doing all this stuff. No, no, you're not, unless you find a way to increase your income
Yeah,
beyond
that's why you see a
Social
lot of
Security
people
and your
that have
pension.
retired. You see those people at Walmart pushing the carts and stuff because they got to do something. There's nothing else they can do. But
Yeah.
Juanita is one of the top earners on our team, and I know that she's appreciating this. This residual income is so different than
It
linear
really is.
income.
It really is, because I wake up whenever I want and go to the gym and come home and and just kind of do what I want to do.
Oh, you don't help but I know you do take time to duplicate and help your team too,
Yeah,
though.
of course I do. I do that, but I'm doing it from home, and I don't have to go to a job to do it.
Right, right,
And
right, right. That's a different
so
lifestyle.
yeah, that's the difference. That's the
Yeah.
difference. And so,
Wow.
I mean, it's not that hard to do. If you put in an hour or hour or two a day, that's all you really need to do.
Be consistent. That's exactly right. Well, thank you so much for enlightening us, Juanita, because so many people do think that, I know most people don't even make the kind of money you used to make. So I know unless they really got a significant savings somewhere,
Well,
or
the
another
other
job.
thing I want to say is that, it could be different for people that if it's two incomes, but I've been single for, 28 years. So it's been just me. So,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of people out here that are single. And so, you need that extra income if you think you're going to ever get to retire uh,
Absolutely.
from your job.
Yeah. So thank you for Juanita for sharing. And I got one more person I want to get on. I want to keep you all too long. This is a lady out of North Carolina. She is definitely retirement age. She's a senior director. And she's definitely gonna she's a mover and a shaker. I'm telling you, this lady is, a matter of fact, the Bishop Jackson is one of the people on her team. So she's blowing it up. Ms. Gwen Millsap, please share with us what your lifestyle was like before LifeWave and what's it like now, and why you feel that, whatever you want to say about it.
I'm with you, Juanita. When we retired, my husband is retired military and retired postal worker. Okay, so when he retired and I'm retired banking, that sounds luxurious. That sounds great. Well, when we both retired, our pay was cut in half, both of us. So, I mean, we were making it month to month, unless we had an emergency. But I did life insurance on the side. I made that a part of our income, and I did that to supplement our income and things like that. I was always in something, some kind of multi-level, some kind of doing something, this and that, and did good in them. But I never made the income that I see now. So when I got started in this in December, I was able to in May, I let everything go. I let my license expire for my life insurance. And you're right, policies you do pretty good, but guess what? You got to go right back out and write another policy. And you got to make sure that the people going to pay their premium. And there was things that me and my husband had wanted to do that we kept dreaming about. We kept saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But you have one big emergency, savings is starting to dwindle till they're gone. And in 2017, we had that Matthew flood. hurricane, tornado, whatever it was. And it came through here, and there was a big surge. And when we had a generator. When the appliances turned on, every generator in our house, I mean, every appliance in our house was blown up, was ruined. That was a big emergency. The furniture, some of our furniture was damaged, and you get a little help from the government, but you can't count on that. But anyway, like I say, we were doing pretty decent, but we were not able to travel and do something. Now that if I say I want to go, let's get away for a couple days. We can take off, even though we're retired, doesn't mean you have the money to go stay in a hotel and travel and the gas to do all this stuff. You got to remember that. And expenses going on. Well, I have 4 grandchildren, and they're all precious to me. They all live near me. And now I was telling Verdita, it is such a joy to be able to, whatever they need, I can help them. And sometimes I tell them it's a loan or whatever, but to go to sleep at night and not worry about anything. The best email I get every Monday is the email from eWallet that says, you just got paid. I'm telling you, when we started off with that and we were getting $200 a week, that was awesome. I could believe that. Then I started believing for more. So I did more, $500 a week. That is great. When you're getting up to $1,000 a week, guys, think about that, multiply that. It makes a difference. It gives you choices. And as senior citizens, you want to have choices. You want to have money in the bank, and you want to have freedom. Retirement is not freedom. And in 95% of our lives, retirement is not freedom. We just change our jobs for something else. So Verdita, I'm excited and I love it. And it's fun. What I do now is fun. Trying to get an insurance policy through and all that paperwork and people telling you this, and then next month they don't have the premium. But I thank God in all the years I did it, I only had 2 chargebacks, but still it was nothing like the fun we're having. And when you're having fun and making money, I love it.
Yeah, I hear people say that all the time, Gwen. This is so much fun. Mainly because we hear these testimonies. It's just so surprising. I mean, you hear these testimonies, but I have a gentleman on here, and I'm not going to call his name, but this is another example, like you said, emergencies going in, how he just called me a little while ago and told me, because I know he had this surgery, and he owns his own company and everything, but he had this surgery, and he had not been working for months. Now he found out they got to redo the whole surgery. And it's gonna be 3 surgeries this time, 3 surgeries to correct what they did. But tomorrow they're driving to out of about 3 hours away because his wife got to have 2 surgeries. And when they get back from that, their baby got to have 2 surgeries. Okay, that's 7 surgeries in one family. But he's the breadwinner. His wife is, got twins. So I mean, but see, residual income, whether you go somewhere or not, that money is still coming. Listen, I'm going to give you, we only got 8 minutes left, but please unmute yourself if you want to share anything else, Bishop, or anybody else have a question or comment or whatever.
Hey, Brigitte, this is Jewel. How you doing?
Hey, Jewel.
I appreciate so much. Let me get my video on. Hey, first of all, I appreciate all the feedback. Everything I've heard is just phenomenal from Gwen, Juanita, Bishop, and you. You guys have painted the picture, and you guys serve as a great example of what life can be like, because all of y'all just gave examples of what we taught in financial education, the 40-40-40 plan, even though she said she's getting about 50%, where the average is 40%, because most people don't have pensions. So you guys are really giving a realistic picture of that, working 40 years of your life, to get by on 40% of what 100% probably wasn't enough for most people. And to get this extra residual income is just phenomenal. So I appreciate you guys sharing the vision, because now people have a choice. An extra $1,000 a week, that's an extra $52,000 a year. I mean, that's like another full-time income in retirement, and so that's great. But you have to add to that, Bridita. They say freedom ain't free. We have to pay a price, and so With that, I thank you guys for really sharing the vision, because the statistics that the bishop shown, these are real, true statistics that a lot of people are not aware of, or they just don't think about, and they don't really know how serious this opportunity really is when we have an opportunity to have residual income and vacations. You know, it's different when your vacation is paid for. To represent a company actually pays for our vacations and provides residual and provides health. We really got to take advantage of this. So I thank you guys for definitely painting the pave for us and sharing the vision and really having a 2x2 steps on how we can all be successful and make this very simple for us to be successful. And so I thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, Professor. All right.
Real quick, Bernita.
Oh,
Jeff
I'm
Payton.
sorry. Jeffrey Payton is next, Bishop, and then we'll get
Oh,
you.
you fine? No, look, I always want to hear from Jeff.
Hey, Bishop, how are you? Hey,
I'm good,
everybody.
bro.
All right, everybody's well, and man, what fantastic! I can relate to everything that was spoken here tonight. You know, what I want to share is this: through my own experience and having had the debilitating affliction that I went through, you know, I was the breadwinner too, and I can relate to not having the ability to help my family and whatnot. And it put a lot of strain on Regina, with us both being entrepreneurs. She had to go out and actually subsidize my presence as far as the income was concerned. But the thing is that I want to piggyback on is this: that 40% in Social Security was what I qualified for during my illness. And after qualifying for that, man, that was not much of a help. I'll be honest with you. You know, I could barely do the things that I was accustomed to doing in providing for my family. But what happened with this LifeWay was a total tsunami, especially in the beginning, because people were joining just based on my testimony. I had no idea that it would actually subsidize the income that I was earning from Social Security, which I paid into and still didn't get back enough. And then on top of that, it subsidized my income from my business, particularly the beauty salon. That excited me, and it drove me that much more to make more happen in this opportunity, and to see to it that others could experience the same thing and have the same testimony. So I'm thrilled at what you guys spoke on tonight. The tax deductions, the fact that this is a 1099 business, and you can write off so much of the equity that you built. It's not just all going out of your pocket. It's now being, you can restore yourself through this wonderful opportunity. You need a home-based business, and this is it. So thanks for letting me share. Bishop, you can take it from here, man.
Yeah, take it on, Bishop.
No, Jeff. No. I'm piggybacking also on what Badita said about the taxes. One of the things I want people to understand, and I've been preaching this a long time, and that is, if you have a home-based business like we do, in the networking industry. Listen, God forbid, and we don't want this to happen. We know it's not going to happen with this company anyway, but if you made no money at all, you're making money every day. And that's the mentality you got to have. I'm making money every day, even though I don't make any, if I didn't make any money in the comp plan. You're making money. You got to understand, because again, you're going to be able to, those write-offs is true money. And we talk about how the rich can write off stuff. They do, all of that is set up. All this tax code is set up so that the business owner can write off stuff. And because as small business owners, we are the ones that actually run the country. And so I want you to really think about that. Really, really think about that. Even though listen, you're going to make some money. Vidita's showing you how we're going to make some money. But if you didn't make a dime, you're making money every day just because you live in your house and you're running the business out of your house. Your lawn, I even think about, I saw my lawn man, he was cutting the grass yesterday. I get to write that off. That's outside.
That's right, because that's part of your
That's part
property.
of my business. That's right. Part of my
It's part of
property.
your property. Anything is part, because my account, you make sure you get it. It's worth it to get it. My account only charges $325. Okay, so if you get you a good account, they're gonna, I didn't even know all this stuff. You can write your landscaping off, your homeowners association, your electric bill, your all of that. But like, just like Bishop say, whether you sign anybody up or not, you qualified to write this stuff off, so you making money. You're crazy not to do the business. So I want to do a call for millennials. I want to do a call for the clergy. I want to do a call for like accountants, people in the entertainment. And I want to do these different categories of calls, because that way they might feel like they relate. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that. But we gotta end the call, but I want to say that tomorrow night, you guys, on our we don't have a regular column except for 10 o'clock Eastern Thursday, but tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, Steve Merritt is going to be our special guest. We're having a leadership call and recap from our Saturday, but Steve Merritt is going to be there. So get your people on there. It's always going to be exciting when he's on there. Also in October, of course, we have the corporate event. I said this before and I want to repeat it. I encourage you, if you are not going to the corporate convention, get one of those tickets. I think they're like $129 for a virtual ticket, and do a watch party. If you invited, it don't have to be your personal team, but people in your city get together, then say if it's 10 of you, that's only going to cost you about $13 a piece, but it's going to be worth it. It may not have to be all day long. Bring your own lunch or all chip in, whatever, but because that's going to be like your own little mini convention, right there in your own home or whatever. So with that, you guys, we're going to have to end the call because it's an hour. I don't like to keep you on after an hour. So thank you all so much for joining. I'm going to try to get y'all that slide about the binary, getting two, or the whole PowerPoint, because I just think that would enlighten you and motivate you to go ahead and get binary, I know you're all a binary qualified, but get your people binary qualified, show them that. And then tell them to duplicate that. Listen, you guys, you all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you all tomorrow night on the call.